and work for that. Okay. Don't be lethargic. Be active for tough subjects. Okay. For tough subjects, you have to put your full concentration. So here, so I will read the question first. The question is, sort a given set of n integer elements using merge-sort method and compute its time complexity. Run the program for varied values of n greater than 5000 and record the time taken to sort. Plot a graph of time taken versus non-graph sheet. The element can be read from the file or can be generated using random number generated. Demonstrate using Java how the divide and conquer method works along with its time complexity analysis. Worst case, average case, and best case. So previous example we discussed with quick-sort, as I told. Here we're going to discuss on merge-sort. So merge-sort, first we will divide, then we will merge the values. While merging the values, we will sort and merge so that we will get the final answer as a sorted array that will be in the incremental order. So that's what the logic of merge-sort. So what we have to do, we have to run this program for the n value greater than 5000. Keep in mind that's the point they gave. Whatever the n value are giving, the number of elements has to be sorted must be more than 5000. More than 5000. That's the condition they gave. And we can read the inputs from the file or we can generate it use of random numbers. Anything we can use. In this program, we tried both. We tried both the methods. I will tell you how we done all these things. So let's get inside to the program. So in this program, whatever the previous program package, the same package only we are using. The package name is daa.lab. daa.lab is the package name what we created for this particular program construction. Next to that, we are having some predefined packages that are to be buffer reader, file not found exception, file reader, IO exception, random, scanner. So these are the major packages used for doing our process. The main thing, buffer reader is used to read the values. Another way of scanner class, instead of using scanner class, we can use buffer reader class. Buffer reader is used to read the input from the user. Okay. File not found exception. File not found exception, we have to put in exception handling. We have a lot of exceptions. Divide by zero exception. Then array index out of bound exception. Then null pointer exception, or whatever the file we are searching for. If the file is not there in the particular location, then we have to array the exception named as file not found exception, so that the program will not crash and it will end up in a very safer manner. For that reason, we are importing a package called file not found exception package. And next to that, file reader package is used to read the content from the file. Whatever the file we are reading from the file, particular content has to be readed. For that reason, we are using file reader package. Next to that, IO exception, we are having IO exception is used for input output exception. Any exception happened in the place of input. For example, n value we have to get as integer. If I'm typing a string, that is come under input output exception. So that type of case has to be handled properly by the program. In that place, we are using IO exception to array the exception and solve the program in safer way. Next to that, random package we are using. Random package is for just generating random numbers, because in our program we have to generate random numbers for our program, and 5000 above 5000 we have to generate random numbers. So that process has to be done with use of random package. Then last, we are having scanner package. Scanner package is for getting the input from the user. So you know all the scanner package predefined functions, next int, next float, next, all these things we are using. So for that reason, we are importing that package also. So I hope you understand all the packages. Let's get inside to the first class. So the class what we are having first is merge-sort class. Inside merge-sort class, we are having an integer array. So integer array is a static integer array. We are putting public static integer array A1 is equal to new int of 10,000. The size of the array we are assigning 10,000. Why we are assigning 10,000? Because our input should be more than 5,000. More than 5,000, so that we are limiting our size of the array is 10,000. Okay. So you can increase the size of the array. If you are increasing the size of the array, you have to give long int. Okay. So if your size of the array increases, your data type also increases. So because our integer data type having a limited size, so that we have to move for the further things, so that here instead of integer you can go for long int, then further we can float double, then we can go for further higher value data types. So here we are declaring two static variables that are to be max and the n1. So max we are declaring as 10,000, that is a maximal value, and that is a static value, so it will not be changed for
Sir,
the
some
entire
students
program.
are waiting, sir.
So it will not be admitted, I hope so. So here, next to that, we are starting the main function. Main function, public static void main we are giving. So that will throws two exceptions. As I told, file not found exception and IO exception. File not found exception is for just arrays the exception when the file is not in the particular location. I am giving D drive. I am giving one file name. If the file is not available in the particular location, you have to arrays the
Sir,
exception
some
that.
students are waiting, sir. They wanna join.
I hope everyone joined. Anybody is still waiting? Okay. File not found exception and the IO exception we are having. File not found exception for raising the exception when the file is not in the particular location, and IO exception when you are giving wrong input instead of integer, if you are giving string or some other unnecessary input on the integer value or integer declaration, it will erase the exception. Next to that, we are having the declaration of initialization of the array. Int a is equal to new int of max. Max value is 10,000. So that max value we are putting in the size of the array. So int I is equal to 0 ch. These are the two variables we are using. These variable usages are for inside the for loop and just getting the input of whether we are going for the file, reading the input from the file, or reading the input from the random numbers. For that input we are using ch, and we are creating the object for the scanner class. Scanner obj is equal to new scanner system.in we are using. So double start time end time we are using. So we are creating these two variables for identifying the start time and end time for the particular program. So when you are calling the basic operation for the program, how much time the basic operation takes for sorting the values, that that will be calculated with use of start time and end time. So this particular start time and end time we already discussed in the quick shot. Now the same thing repeated in the merge shot also. Now let's see, enter your choice. We are giving two choices. One is input from the file. Second one is random number generation. So these are the two categories we are giving. If the user enters one will store in ch. So according to ch, we are giving the switch case. So it will match with the case, and it will identify which code has to be executed. If the user enters one, it will read the file from read the input from the file. If we are entering two, it will read from the random numbers. So these are the two inputs we are giving. So ch will perform the operation further. So according to the input, if user enters one or two, that will store in ch. So ch will go to the switch case. So switch will search for the case. If user enters one case one will be executed, and it will just go to that file and check the location of the file. The file will be in the D drive codes.txt. So codes.txt will be read, and it will just take as a file name. Whatever the file location we gave, that will be taken as a file name, so that we are just reading each and every line from the file. So how we are reading? With use of file reader, we are creating object. So file reader object will catch the file name. After that file reader object, we are giving to the file buffer reader. from buffer reader, we are reading each and every line. How it will read? It will just omit the space and it will read each and every line and split that line and put in the string array that is called as G. In the string array, it will store the elements one by one. Then we are identifying the length of G. Whatever the length of G, according to that, we are retrieving the value, and that will be retrieved, converted to integer again, and that will be stored in A1 of file. Okay, keep in mind. So whatever the value we are storing in the file, all the values will be read by the buffer reader, and then it will be split each and every value, and that will be stored in the G. That will be stored in the G. G.length we are giving. When you are giving G.length, it will just identify the length of the entire array value. Entire array value means by whatever the value stored in the file. If I am storing 5 numbers in the file, 5 numbers length it will identify, and that 5 numbers will be stored in A1 of 5. Now we are having all the random numbers in A1 of 5. Now let's move further. So what we are doing, G.length, whatever the value we are having, that again we are storing in the A2 array. So here we are storing in the particular array that is in A1, the same copy we are making in A2. Okay, that's for the purpose. Next to that, we are just further we are just identifying the integer values, converting all the values in the form of integers, and we are just storing in the A of k. Whatever the value we are having, that will be stored in A of k. Okay, so G.length. What is the G.length? G is the array what we identified here. With use of that G.length, the length of the G will be stored in N1. And further we are incrementing the k value. So every time the k value will be incremented, and each and every value will be stored in the array position. So according to the value what we fetched from the file, that will be splitted and that will be converted to integer. That integer value will be stored in the integer array for further use. So after finishing all this work, we are closing the buffer reader. So buffer reader.close we are doing. So the buffer reader will be closed. After that, file not found exception EX we are giving. So if the file is not found in the particular location, it will just display the message that unable to open the file, and will display the file name. So whatever the file name we gave, the file name is here we gave the codes.txt is the file name. Unable to open the file name, codes.txt, it will display the output. This is for case 1. Case 1 means we are reading from the file. So case 1 will execute from here to here. So this is case 1. What you are seeing in the blue color, this entire code will be out of case 1. After case 1, we are breaking the statement and we will go for the next part. If the value what the user gives here, if it is 2, if the user gives here is 2, then it will go for 2. It will search for case 2. So case 2 will be here actually. What is the case 2 operation? Case 2 operation is to generate random numbers. Last class we discussed about generating random numbers in QuickShot. So the same will be done here. So what we are doing, we are creating object for random class. Random is a generic class. For that random class, we are just creating object, and with use of that object, we are just calling the random generator. With use of random generator, we can able to create next int. With use of next int, we can able to generate the numbers within 100. So this process how we are doing, let's see. So we are just creating the random generator object for the random generic class, and then we are just creating the object for scanner class. So scanner class object we are using for getting the input from the user, and further enter the size of the array we are using. Enter the size of the array. What is the size of the array that we have to enter? For example, I want to get 5000 elements, so that I have to give 5000. So 5000 element will be generated as a random numbers. So N1 will be holding the 5000. Then the random number generates the elements. The random number generated elements are, it will display as output. Then here it will generate the random numbers. So I value will be start from 0 to if you are giving 5000, it will just until 4999 it will execute. Okay, 4999 it will execute. 4999 it will execute. So until that it will generate the random numbers. Mean by 0 to 4999 total 5000 numbers. So here int vals equal to random generator dot next int we are giving. So what will happen here? The numbers will be generated in the limit of 100. So whatever the 5000 numbers it's generating, all the numbers will be within 100. Okay, so that will be stored in A of I. So whatever the numbers it's generated, that will be stored in A of I. Then further we are just breaking the statement. This is to be the case 1 and case 2. Case 1 is reading the input from the file. Case 2 is reading the input from the random number generation. So these are the two cases. After these cases, after getting the input, we are starting our basic operation. The basic operation is to sort the numbers. Whatever the numbers we got as input, before sorting, we are displaying the numbers. By displaying before sorting, we are giving the statement, and we are using case equal to 0, k less than n1, k plus plus. So if your input is 5000 until 4999, it will execute the statement and it will retrieve the values. Whatever the random number generated, that will be displayed as output here. So before sorting, what exactly we got, that will be displayed as output, so that after sorting, we will get the sorted values. So I hope you remember the quick sort output, the same way it will display here. Now we are just doing the start time. So start time will be system.current time mile. So which time we are starting the basic operation. The basic operation is this one. So what is the basic operation? We are starting the merge sort with the size of the array 0 to n minus 1, the starting of the array and the ending of the array. These things we are passing as a parameter for merge sort method. So merge sort method will be the basic operation for this program. So what is the starting time and ending time of this merge sort method? That will be the time taken for our program. Okay. Now end time we are doing, end time will be the ending time for the particular program. So here in the end time, what we are doing, that has to be the difference between the start time and end time will be taken, and that will be the total time taken here. So after sorting, after getting the receiving the values here, after sorting we are just displaying the A value. Before sorting, the A value will be unsorted value. The array value, array A value, whatever the value stored in the array A, that will be unsorted value. After merge sort, whatever the value stored in the array A, that will be the sorted array, sorted values. Incremental order, we can get the outputs. Now we are done with this part. Now we are going for the second part, that is to be merge sort part. So what and all we are doing with this merge sort part, we are calling the merge sort method. No, so where it will call the merge sort method. This method will call. So in this method, what we are doing, we are just identifying whether the low value mean by the starting value of the array, and the high value will be the ending value of the array. That we are checking whether the starting value and the ending value meeting this condition. So whether the starting value is less than ending value. If this condition is true, we are starting with the loop. So what is this loop will do? This particular loop is a execute one time. So every time it will execute for one time, and it will just do the process. So here we are just making the statement. What the statement we are making? Mid equal to low plus high divided by 2. We are identifying the mid value. So mid value will be identified according to our merge sort program. What we will do, we will split the entire values into single numbers. After that, we will merge everything. While you are merging everything, in the merging step, it will just sort one by one, and finally we will get the merged array with sorted values. So that's what we try to do here. We are identifying the mid value, and mid value will be calculated with low value plus high value divided by 2, and we are passing the merge sort by passing three parameters: A value, low value, and mid value. If the condition is whatever the value you are searching for, that will be less than the mid value. If the less than the mid value, we have to search between low value and mid value. If it is greater than mid value, you have to search between mid value plus 1 to high value. So these are the two different merge sort methods we have to call. Then finally, you have to pass the array, low value, mid value, and high value. All the four parameters you have to pass for simple merge. So until doing this, it will identify the mid value and calling the same thing again and again. The merge sort will be a recursive function. So it will use to identify the mid value. According to the mid value, we are replacing and calling each and every time. So simple merge will be called when the A value and the mid value, low value, high value got changed. So what the process, the entire process we are doing in the simple merge operation. So what we are doing in the simple merge operation, int c is equal to new int of a dot length we are giving. So here I less than mid, j less than equal to high we are giving. So mid value and high value we are checking. If the I value what we are passing, if it is less than or equal to mid, and greater than, less than or equal to high, mean by whatever the value we are passing to identify. If it is less than equal to mid value and less than equal to high value, then we are executing this process. So what this process? The first element, A of I element and A of J element, we are comparing. So if the A of I element is less than equal to A of J element, what we are doing further? C of K, we are storing the A of I in C of K and we are incrementing the value. If that is not true, then what we are doing? We are storing A of J in C of K. So we are just putting the value which is least in the particular place so that we can able to sort the values one by one. So next point, what we are doing, if the I value is less than mid value, we are incrementing the C position and we are just incrementing the array position also. If the J value is less than equal to high value, we are incrementing the C position and we are incrementing the A of J position. So every time, whenever you are getting the value that is less than I, whatever the mid value you are getting less than I, you have to increment the A of I position. Whenever the J value is less than high value, you have to increment the J position. So A of J position you have to increment. And finally, we are just writing a for loop, and for loop will just put the sorted array. So I is equal to low, I less than high, I plus plus we are doing. So here I is equal to low, I less than high, I plus plus we are doing. No, here what will happen? Every time it will start from the low value to high value. So each and every value in the particular array will be sorted and that will be stored in the A of I. So that only before sorting and after sorting we are displaying here. No, after sorting we are just displaying the same array only, but we are getting the sorted array. How it's possible? Because we done the sorted array in this particular method called simple merge. Inside the simple merge, we just store the sorted array in the A of I position. Okay. So this was the entire program. So this will be same, whatever the procedure we followed for quick sort, the same thing we followed. Only one extra thing is we are just dealing with the file here. So file process, whatever we are dealing, if it is possible to open, it will read the file and read the file content. According to the file content values, it will do the sorting operation. So let's execute this program and see the output for this program. So I'm running the program. I executed the program. It's loading. So enter your choice. First one is input from the file. Second one is random number generator. So these are the two things we have to do here. Before going to this, I want to tell you, as per the program, we are having the file in the place of D drive. So keep in mind D drive : codes.txt. I will open and show you where I am having the file. So in D drive, I am having my file. So you have to put your text file inside the D drive. So I will share and show you so that you can able to understand this. I will show you the file location where I saved the particular program. Let's see here D drive. What I'm having codes.txt. Keep in mind in D drive I'm having codes.txt. I'm opening and showing the codes.txt file. Okay. So here you can able to see the file having some random numbers 43, 69, 57, 76, 79 like that. We are having some random numbers. So here let's change the numbers. So I'm changing the values. So it's not a sorted array. Not a sorted array. 73, 69, 57, 66, 49. Hello? Are you able to see the? Is it visible or not?
No, sir.
It's not visible. Text file what I shared with you. Okay. Are you able to see the D drive what I'm showing to you?
Yes, sir.
D drive course.txt, the course file I highlighted. No, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here you have to save the file. Now I will share the txt file separately. Txt file has to be shared separately. Students are able to see the course.txt file what I shared with you. Is it visible, students? Is it visible? Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we are having an unsorted array 73, 69, 57, 66, 49 like that. And we have to give proper space. Keep in mind you have to give single tab space. Single tab space between each and every element, because we gave in our code we have give single tab space. So it will identify the tab space and it will retrieve the value. That value will be stored in the array A of array A what we created in our program. So while giving this value, give with proper single tab space and give it, otherwise the program will show error. Okay. So what I gave is unsorted array 73, 69, 57, 66, 49 we are giving. So this is the unsorted array what we have. So for this unsorted array, we are reading this file and for doing the sorting operation with use of quicksort. Now I will go to the code again. I will go to the NetBeans program again. I hope you understand this. Anybody have doubt in this? Creating this file. File name is codes.txt. TXT file that should be saved inside D drive. If you are saving in other location, you have to give the same location in the code. If you are not giving proper location, the code will not work. It will show file not found exception. So I'm opening the NetBeans again. Both link students are able to see the NetBeans screen now. Please respond. Link 1 and link 2 students are able to see the NetBeans screen.
No, sir.
Link?
No, sir.
Okay. Link 1 are able to see the NetBeans screen. Link 1.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Link 2 see the NetBeans screen. Link 2. Okay. So let's execute this code. So we executed already, and we got two options as I told. So let's execute the random number generation first. So random number generation I am executing. It's asking the size of the array. Size of the array should be more than 5000. Keep in mind the size of the array should be more than 5000. I am giving 5001. Okay, that is very important. Don't give for very less thing, and you have to give 5000, 6000, 7000 like that, or 5500, 6000, 6500, 7000 like that. 5 inputs we have to give, and time you have to take, and you have to plot the graph. Okay. So it's generating the random numbers. So it's going on. All the numbers is not possible to generate because it's not possible to show. It will generate, but all the numbers is not possible to show. You can able to see within 100. The limit is 100, no, so that it's generated the numbers which is within 100 only. Okay.